Hello everyone, welcome to class. We have 2 weeks left and I am sure that you guys are really excited to catch a little break in between semesters. For our class, the last 2 weeks are pretty busy, so I hope you guys are prepared for that. This week we have 2 reading check quizzes. Number 15 is focused on Erik Erikson's psychosocial theory and a little bit of information about emotional development. And then quiz number 16 is on temperament and what influences temperament, and also on self-awareness. And then we will have another baby human segment, another video segment. This one is focused on feelings and emotions in infants and toddlers. And then we will have a written Dropbox assignment called Emotions and Emotional Communication, and this you will read an article from Edward Tronick, and he talks about how infants coordinate their interactions, especially with their emotions, with their caregivers. So I think this is just so interesting and fascinating to read about. And in the directions for that assignment, there are certain topics that we want you guys to cover. So I would recommend, again, just using those as headings in your assignment, so that way you don't miss any of the information that's required in that assignment. And you will have the discussion boards going this week, so make sure you're posting your first one by Wednesday and your following post by Monday. And then you will finish up with Erik Erikson's Theory Reflection Notebook. This is a little bit different this week than normal because the readings aren't coming from the Crane textbook. They are coming from 2 articles that are attached to the assignment page. And if you remember Erik Erikson, he has his psychosocial theory. It has 8 stages, and we are just going to cover the first 2 stages. So trust versus mistrust, and autonomy versus shame and doubt. Those are the ones that relate to our age group, so that's what we're going to stick with. But if you take some other child development classes, I know you'll probably go into the other stages as well. And then in our week, part of the information there, one of the readings that you can look at is called the Personal Perspective Paper Criteria. And these are basically just the instructions for your personal perspective paper, which will be the final paper you'll turn in during the last week of class. And in that page they have a link for the rubric, and that's the rubric that I will be using to grade your papers. So I would recommend using that as a checklist for your paper as you're writing it. As long as you can check off that you've done all of the things on that rubric, you should be good for your paper and pass with flying colors. And also in that page there is a link for examples of how to put citations in your paper, both in-text citations and using it as or using them as a reference list. So look at that examples page if you need help with citations. You can also look at the OWL Purdue website, or email me, or put them in the course questions and conversations discussion board. I'd be happy to help with any of those. I know citations can be somewhat confusing. Just keep in mind that this is due in a couple of weeks, but we wanted to give you a heads up about what was coming up so that you guys can start, if you want, organizing your outline and getting things ready for that paper. Like I said earlier, we have a busy couple of weeks, so we just want to give you as much time as possible to get those bigger assignments accomplished as well. And I think that's it for week 12. So if you have questions, as always, let me know and I would be happy to help. Have a great week.